Good evening, High Button sports fans, and welcome inside the Member 2 Sport and Wellness Center as we get set for this evening's matchup between the visiting Dartmouth Steele Subaru and the hometown Sydney Rush. We get set here, opening face-off. Rush control off the draw. Deacon McPhee plays a lead pass ahead and into the skates there. Subs now try to get it out of their zone. McDonald picks it up, circles back behind his net, chip play across the boards. And they'll reverse once again now, off the glass and out, but Deacon McPhee throws it right back in as the Dartmouth Subways now try to get it out of their zone. Leading the rush now, McDonald. Leaves it there for Munden. Shots turned aside there by Doucette. And behind the net now, McDonald going to work once again up top for Land. His shot off a shin pad into the corner. Liam McLeod in there for the rush. The rush now try to get it out of the zone. Chipped off the boards into the neutral zone. Back down for the subs. Land chips it ahead there for Ryan. They battle in the corner now. Ryan looks at his options, goes up top for Land. Shot Doucette to save into the middle of the ice, but it's cleared out, but not quite out of the zone. Sam Ryan. Subs now still with control, thrown up and out of play. Starting in goal for the Sydney Rush, Mason Doucette getting the call. 2-7 record and a .887 save percentage on the season. And getting the call for Dartmouth, Silas Mullins. Off to a great start here this season. 7-1 at a .912 save percentage. Henry skates it into the zone, leaves it there for Bryan. Max Bryan now circles behind the goal. Loses the handle on it, but regains control. Chips it by Angus McLean. Bryan with it still now behind it. Throws it out front. And just like that, a bang, bang play in front. And that will be Joel Hakelah's first goal. Judging by Max Bryan picking up the puck for his teammate. And Hakelah gets Dartmouth on the board early in this one. Dartmouth control off the draw once again. Thrown in behind, thrown up the boards. Guthrow chips it off the glass, but not out. Burgess turns it around on goal, shot on goal. Doucette kicks that aside. Deacon McPhee, that puck goes up and out of play. Face-off coming back inside the Rush territory. Burgess steps in to take the draw now for the Dartmouth Subways, or Subaru, sorry. Maybe dating myself by calling them the Subways. That's back from my playing days. The Steele Subaru. Subaru come into this game with a 12-4 record, 4-1 in their last 5 games. That loss coming in their last game they just played against Halifax, where they dropped a 5-3 decision to the Max. Rush enter this game 3-15-2 on the season. 1-4 in their last 5 on a 3-game skid, trying to get back into the win column here tonight. McPhee eliminates his man from the puck, gets it up, but Land doing a great job once again, Quentin Land, of keeping that puck in, but not able to stay onside. Subaru go offside, face off coming outside Rush territory. Bryan in to take the draw for the Steele Subaru. Dartmouth control off the draw, thrown in. Now McLeod chips it in through the neutral zone for Ethan Miller. Miller gets over the line, back up top. Throwing back down now. Shot doesn't make it to the goal, and the Subaru will now clear it out in the neutral zone. Liam McLeod back to get it. He's watched closely there by Bryan. Chipped ahead. Hudson Crawley loses the handle. Miller there to pick it up, but now McDonald. Subaru stop up in the zone, waiting for help to come. Shot. Tremblay with the shot. Doucette with the save. He'll hold on. Sidney Rush still yet to register a shot on goal here in this one. Rush tried to clear the zone, but it's kept in at the line. Shot turned aside there by Doucette. Carter up top for Henry. His shot goes off a stick and into the corner. Now thrown out front. Phillips ahead for Lewis, jumps over his stick. Miller is in on it there for the Rush. Watched closely there by a swarm of blue shirts. It goes to the neutral zone and thrown right back in by Dartmouth. Played ahead now. Thrown in there by Sam Ryan. Ryan first on it again, plays it up top for Henry. Ben Henry's shot just goes wide. Now Morrison collides in the corner there with Sam Ryan. Tries to throw that out front. McLean throws that up, but again, McPhee doing a good job keeping that play alive there for the Steele Subaru. Off the glass and out, and giving chase is Miller. Miller watched closely there by McPhee. Throwing up the boards. Now Tremblay enters the zone. Tremblay stops up on the half wall, plays it up top to the point. Back down low for Tremblay. He'll circle in behind the goal. Thrown out front. No one there now. It lands onto the stick of Owen Sparks. And Sparks roofs that one up and over the glove of Doucette. And the Subways have opened up a 2-0 lead. Sparks on the back door. Ends up on his stick, and he makes no mistake. The Subaru control off the face-off once again. This time it's tipped up and out of play. Face-off will come just outside the Subaru zone. Rush go offsides off the face-off. So they'll do the face-off one more time just outside the Dartmouth zone. Dartmouth control off the draw once again. Quentin Land leaves it there. And it's Tremblay. He'll enter up and stop up on the half wall. Tremblay looks for options. He keeps. as Duffy was coming in off the line, but now away go the Rush. Quentin Land closes down his man. Rush. Throw it right back in. Mullins leaves it there. And Land will start a breakout. He'll skate it through the neutral zone. Land tries to get a shot through, but that's off a shin pad. Now a scramble in front of Doucette. Ends up down in the corner. The Rush will clear that down the ice. Icing will be the call. $13:15 to go in this one. Dartmouth once again, that shot up high and over the glove of Doucette. Makinen feeds it through. Thrown out front, cleared away, but kept in at the line there by Henry. Henry tries to play it up the boards. It skirts out back into the Dartmouth zone, and they've got to circle back to pick it up. Tristan Turner there to pick it up. They'll try again. Played with a high stick, no call there. Makinen back to get it. Appears to be some confusion on the ice here as there was no whistle here in the rink anyways. But looks like it was in fact a high stick. So the face-off will come back just outside Rush territory. Morrison back to get it, plays it up the wall. Now it's chipped out and down the ice. This one won't have enough for icing. As Henry is watched closely there in the corner. Rush trying to get it out, but not able. Tremblay. Ahead for Bryan. Bryan tries to step around McPhee. McPhee closes him off. Rimmed around the boards. Parker Lee can't get it out as McPhee does a great job there on the point. Alistair McPhee keeping that play in. Now Ben Guthrow, he'll chip that in. Gideon's first one on it there for the Rush as the Rush start a change. Gideon's all by himself waiting for some help to come. Now McDonald leads the Rush out for Dartmouth. Loses the handle. And offsides will be the call. Chipped in by a Steele Subaru. Thrown out front all alone, Sam Ryan. Big save by Mason Doucette. Munden throws it down low for Carter. Carter tries to saucer that in front, but it hits a couple bodies on the way there. Puck loose in front of Doucette. First one on it there, Carter. Liam McLeod closes him down, and the Rush regain control. Penalty coming up here. It'll be a tripping call coming up to the Steele Subaru. Sam Ryan goes to the box for tripping. Get our first look at the Sydney Rush power play here today. Power play clipping along on the season at 10%, going up against the penalty kill of the Subaru, which has been 80% efficient. Rush still yet to register a shot on goal in this one. Morrison sets it up. Feeds it ahead for McLeod. Now Miller. He's stopped, and the Rush have to once again regroup. Phillips ahead for Miller. He'll chip it in, but Makinen closes him off. Goes back to get it. Doesn't get it out as Morrison keeps it alive at the point. Phillips tries it. Lewis. His shot goes off the shoulder of Mullins and out of play, which gives us an opportunity now for our commercial break.
Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps...
Corda Lewis in to take the draw. Won by Dartmouth. McLean keeps that in, but again, aggressive penalty kill from Dartmouth. Rush, try to get set up again, McPhee. Down behind the goal now. Steele Subaru able to chip that out, so the Sydney Rush have the touch up once again. Deacon McPhee steps over the red line and rims that puck in. Jacob Dunn. It's a mashup of bodies along the half wall. And Dartmouth will once again recover that puck, get it out into the neutral zone. Rimmed in now, Deacon McPhee keeps it alive. Thrown on goal. Mullins kicks that aside. Team's back to even strength now. Here's Dartmouth's shot. That one doesn't miss by much. Land keeps that play in, throws it out front. Another penalty coming up here. It's going to go to Deacon McPhee. 2 minutes for interference will be the call. This is a lethal Dartmouth power play, clicking along at 40% on the season against the penalty kill of the Rush, which coming into this one, operating at 67% efficiency. Tremblay throws it down low. Bryan, he'll circle up top, he'll take the shot. That goes off a shin pad and out of play. Bryan doing a great job of creating space for himself. Big body of Max Bryan. Dartmouth win the draw once more. Up top, Duffy throws it down for Tremblay. Tremblay circles back up top. His shot off a stick over the net. Duffy for Ryan. His shot down low, Doucette save. He'll find that in traffic and cover up. Good puck movement here from the Dartmouth power play unit. Minute 19 left in the man advantage for the Steele Subaru. Bryan in to take the draw. And Dartmouth control once more. Ryan for Tremblay. His shot off the crossbar. And up and out of play. Fresh power play unit coming onto the ice now for Dartmouth. They win the draw once again. Up top for McPhee. Another shot that goes off a shin pad, up and out of play. Sydney Rush doing a good job getting into the shooting lanes here early on in this one. Taking away the grade A opportunities for the Subaru. And they'll win yet another face-off. Up top, McPhee to McDonald. His shot, that goes off a shin pad and just glazes the post. McPhee's shot gets through. Doucette sees that. Opportunity here for the Rush to change out their penalty killing unit. Burgess wins another draw for Dartmouth. Dartmouth been very dominant in the face-off circle so far in this one. They work the top of the umbrella. It's over for McPhee's shot. That got through. Doucette lost the handle on it. But it's back up top for McPhee, who feeds it for McDonald. His shot. That, I believe, hit the post and goes up top. McPhee once more controlling that top of the umbrella. But now it's down for McDonald. Matthew McDonald back for Alistair McPhee, who feeds it down low. Good puck movement once again here by the Dartmouth power play unit, as they are just moving that puck around with ease. But now teams back to even strength. A big kill for the Sydney Rush. See if they can gain some momentum off of this one. And here's McPhee once again, but hard on the back check is Andrea. Disrupting the play on the back check, but it squirts back out into the neutral zone, and Dartmouth will have to go back and touch up. Now here's Henry. He'll feed that cross corner as Dartmouth will start a change. Gives Angus McLean time to start a breakout. Jake Dunn stopped in his tracks there by Brian. Now McLean will chip that out into the neutral zone. Dartmouth will have to touch up. Gives Henry time now. Feeds it ahead for Hakala. Cross for Brian. He's knocked down off his feet. A double clutch from McIntyre. As Parker Lee gives chase, but now Mackinnon. Dartmouth will throw it in. Doucette comes out to play it. Brian, first one on it. And behind the net now, Morrison. Feeds that up top, thrown out into the middle of the ice. The Rush able to get it out. Almost a costly giveaway in the top of the slot, but here comes McPhee once again. Shot. Doucette will grab that out of the air and take the whistle. .447 to go here in the first period. 2-0. The Steele Subaru lead the Sydney Rush. Dartmouth very dominant in the face-off circle has been the story in the first period. McPhee, his shot off a shin pad, but Burgess is there to clean it up as Dartmouth continue offensive zone time here. And the Rush get control. They'll throw it down the ice. Icing will be the call. Face off back in Rush territory. Brian back out to take this draw. shot. That's kicked aside by Doucette. Duffy rims it back down low. Morrison and Bryan battle in the corner. Bryan comes off the half wall for McDonald. It's out into that dangerous slot now. Tremblay throws it down for McDonald. It's back on the stick of Tremblay, thrown out front. No goal, the call on the play is, I'm guessing there was interference with Doucette on the play. Face-off will come to the left of Mason Doucette. Scoreboard here still showing no registered shots on goal for the Rush. I don't believe that to be true, but it's got 14 up here for Dartmouth. Mason Doucette has been very busy this period, but he has been good keeping the Rush in this one. Matt Phillips for the Rush now trying to get that puck out, but McPhee will chip that in low. Along the wall, it's Bryan again. He loses the handle as the puck will squirt out into the neutral zone, and Dartmouth will have the touch up. Tremblay. He's watched closely there by Phillips. Travis Tremblay chips it ahead for McDonald. He'll gain the zone. Tries to step around the Rush defender. Not able to do so. And behind the goal it goes, and Tremblay's got it again. Circles up top of the zone. Now some space opens up for Tremblay. Leaves it for Henry. He'll throw it back down low for Tremblay. Jumps over his stick, and Liam McLeod able to get that around, but great stick there by McPhee. Munden chips that ahead, but good back coverage there by the Rush. Henry. Now a Land. Feeds that ahead for Munden. Munden will throw that in deep. Doucette comes out to play it. McIntyre. Ahead for Heb. Carver turns it up ice for Dartmouth. Over for Ryan. His shot. Oh, that's tipped. Another crossbar here for Dartmouth. Giveaway at the line. Munden. He'll stop up. Shot off a shin pad into the corner. Thrown up top. Kept in at the line by Duffy. And now Chase Munden leaves it there for Quentin Land. His shot off a stick. Back into the high slot. Phillips gives it away for Munden. Now Munden with some time on the wall. His shot goes wide, but Land is there to keep it in. They battle along the boards. Thrown out front. Good coverage in the slot area by the Rush, and they're able to skate it out. Thrown across the middle ice now. Crawley, his shot. Silas Mullins will pull that one out of midair. And we'll have an offensive zone draw coming up for the Sydney Rush. Andrea in to take the draw for Sydney up against Owen Sparks. And Dartmouth will win another draw. Rimmed around now for Tremblay. He'll enter the zone. Tries to feather that one through, but again, Tremblay, good puck pursuit, ends up back on his stick. Makinen, he loses the handle, but now he gets it once again. Tremblay tries to shake off his man in the corner, and McLeod will skate it out for the Rush. Gets to the red line, and he'll dump that in cross corner. Under a minute to go here in the first period. McIntyre leaves that for Morrison. Back from McIntyre. He'll skate it through the neutral zone. 10 seconds left now in the first period. Dartmouth will just play out the clock, and that will do it for the first period here in Membertou. After 20 minutes of play, the Dartmouth Steele Subaru 2. Sydney Rush, no score. We will be back with second period action after this brief intermission.
Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple.
And welcome back inside the Member 2 Sport and Wellness Center as we kick off second period action here between the Sydney Mitsubishi Rush and the Dartmouth Steele Subaru. Rush iced the puck early on here, and face-off come back inside Rush territory. After 20 minutes of play, Dartmouth Steele Subaru with a 2-0 lead. As Sydney control off the face-off in their own zone. Miller, he'll try to get it out, but Sydney's backed up once again into their own zone. Phillips, lead pass here for Miller. Miller in all alone on the back check. Penalty coming up. Penalty shot coming up here. A great lead pass from Matt Phillips, the call up. As he hits Austin Miller in stride. And hard on the back check there was Henry. Causing Miller now here. He comes on the penalty shot. Austin Miller weaves his way in on Silas Mullins. Mullins stands his ground against Miller and shuts the door. What a start to the second period here for the Sydney Rush. Lewis and Burgess line up for the draw. Sydney win that one. Shot gets through, kicked aside by Mullins. Dartmouth can't connect on the cross-ice feed, and Liam McLeod will throw it right back in. Duffy ahead for Smith. In well ahead of the play there was Turner. As Brendan Smith tried to keep pace. As Turner taps himself on the shoulder saying, "That's my bad, I was ahead of the play." Smith, the Bay Camo draft pick. Rush. McIntyre plays that ahead. It's chipped in, so no icing. Trying to find Guthrow out front. He will keep it in just enough on the line. And a good back check coming back through the neutral zone. Stick in the lane was McIntyre. McLean ahead for, tries to find Hudson Crawley, but a quick turnaround now as the Rush will once again try again. Andrea stops in over the line, throws it down low. Rims around, comes out the other side. Nobody wants to pick it up, but now Liam Duffy will pick it up and feed it ahead for Sparks. He'll chip that in. Giving chase is Hakala. He and Morrison up against the half wall. Now Henry finds some space, shot on goal. Doucette kicks that aside. Thrown down low, now Sparks tries to spin off his man as Hakala comes in to provide some help. Up top for Henry. Back for Hakala. His shot on goal. Doucette will cover that up.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's winning unit split number is 036-147. Once again, the winning number is 036.
Face-off coming to the left of Mason Doucette. As Brian in to take the draw against Jacob Dunn. Brian been very, very good in the face-off circle for Dartmouth here tonight as he'll win another one. And he'll get a chance to do that once more, this time to the right of Mason Doucette. As Brian and Dunn line up for another face-off. This time the Rush will control and get it out of the zone. Not able to get it in deep as Alistair McPhee stops that up. That puck played back a little too far, so again, Dartmouth had to regroup in the neutral zone. McPhee for Land. He'll skate it through the neutral zone across the blue line. Shot on goal. Doucette with another save. "20 shots on goal now that Mason Doucette has faced. As Brian directing traffic once again for Dartmouth in the face-off circle. Dartmouth will, after a scrambly play, will control again off the draw. McPhee for Land, back for McPhee, back for Land. Just throws it out front, hits a stick. Directed towards goal, and Mason Doucette will grab that out of midair and get another face-off. Both teams will make changes. Ryan wins another draw for Dartmouth. It's up top. Land throws that in and around behind the goal. Carver battling with McLean. Now it's poked free for Coda Lewis. He'll feed that ahead for Phillips. A touch pass, but Land will cover that off, and here comes Dartmouth once again, and it's Carver. Throws that out front. That ends up under the pad of Mason Doucette. Another face-off coming up in the offensive zone here for Dartmouth. Sam Ryan not able to win that one. McIntyre plays it up, and Miller will chip it off the wall and out, but not far enough, as here comes Dartmouth once more. Chipped in. Now Coda Lewis will play that ahead, but Chase Munden picks that up and throws that right back in. Carver in a battle with McLean in the corner, and Dartmouth comes away with it once again. Sam Ryan plays that up top for McPhee. Or sorry, that's Mackinnon over for Duffy. His shot doesn't get through, but Sam Ryan, good coverage in the high slot, picks it up, another shot, another save for Mason Doucette. Cross ice feed, and Liam Duffy is there to clean it up, and it comes right back onto the stick of Duffy, who plays it ahead for Ryan. Thrown out front. Turner is in there now trying to win a puck battle, and he will. Out front for Ryan, and a point-blank shot. Doucette the save. As the zone time starting to mount once again here for the Dartmouth Steele Subaru. Puck battle one down low once again. Smith. He'll try to win the puck battle, and he will right there in the high slot. Turns and fires. And Doucette with a save. 15:11 to go here in the second period. Again, ice tilted in Dartmouth's favor so far in this one. Burgess lines up for the face-off for Dartmouth, but the Rush will control. Morrison, his cross-ice feed is broken up. Now on it there is Brian, his shot off the blocker of Doucette, but not out. Rush can't get it out. McPhee pinches in off the line for Dartmouth to keep the play alive. Back up the wall it goes. Parker Lee can't get it out, but now it is chipped out into the neutral zone. But again, not far enough as Dartmouth quickly regroups in the neutral zone and comes right back in. Burgess has it knocked off his stick. The Rush will chip it off the boards and down the ice. This one will have enough for icing. And will come all the way back down into the Rush territory. Andrea in to take the draw with Burgess, or Carver, sorry. Hakala tries to chip that in. Morrison knocks that down. Thrown now in, and Carver gives chase. Circles in behind the goal. He's watched closely there by Morrison. Thrown out front now. It's back on Carver's stick in behind the goal. Up top, hops over the stick of Duffy and into the neutral zone. Sparks. Cross ice for Quentin Land. Land will get to the red line and dump it in. Duffy tries to throw that back in deep. Morrison, he'll flip that out into the neutral zone, and Land is there to turn the play back up ice for Dartmouth. His shot goes off a shin pad into the corner. Hakala keeps that alive at the line. Sparks down low for Hakala. Thrown out front now, coming off the bench is Makinen. He'll play that back down low for McDonald. Chipped up top. It will get to Ben Henry, and his shot will enter the glove of Mason Doucette, and he'll hold on for another face-off. Max Bryan in to take another face-off, and he'll win another face-off. Back for Henry, left all alone in front. Big save, Mason Doucette. It's underneath him, and the ref will blow that down. What a chance for the Steele Subaru, but an even bigger save by Mason Doucette as Max Bryan left all alone in front, and you see him there trying to recreate the play, saying he couldn't get it from backhand to forehand quick enough, as Mason Doucette with a 10-bell save, keeping this one still within range for the rush. Now Dartmouth goes right back to work in the offensive zone. Tremblay. He'll chip that, but it's off the boards and out of play, so they'll have to regroup. And they will. Here's Bryan. Knocked off his stick for McDonald. Down low for McBride. Over for Tremblay. He can't get the handle on it. And it'll once again squeak out into the neutral zone. Back they come again. Thrown out front for Bryan. Knocked off his stick. Now Leo McLeod will skate it out for the rush. McLeod heads over the blue line. Good stick by McPhee. Knocks that off into the corner. Now Max Bryan will skate that out, and headman pass for McDonald. Over for McPhee. He comes in. Quick strike offense here from Dartmouth. But Doucette with another big save. Back down around for Smith. Throwing it out front. And McDonald tried to bang that home. Dartmouth making a change now. Thrown down front, off a skate up top for McPhee. He'll leave it for Land. His shot, Doucette with another big save. Great puck movement in the offensive zone here by Dartmouth. Steele Subaru opening up a ton of shooting lanes for themselves. But Mason Doucette has been very good between the pipes here for the Sydney Rush. Thrown out front, alone out front. Mason Doucette sticks the leg out and covers up the puck just enough to get the whistle. And another face-off coming up here in the Rush territory. Another face-off win for Dartmouth. Another shot on goal. In behind the goal, Ryan throws it out front for Carver. That's turned aside by Doucette. Now back behind for Ryan again. Land his shot. And another beautiful glove save by Mason Doucette. 31 shots on goal now for Dartmouth. Burgess in to take the draw, and he'll win that back for land. Over for McPhee. Jumps over McPhee's stick. He'll play it back down low. Keeps it alive at the line. Tries to get it back down low again. Now Turner will rim it around. Deacon McPhee there to clear it, but not out. Quinton Land off the line. Thrown out front. Doesn't make it there. Into the corner, they battle. Puck squirts free, but Brendan Smith keeps that in there. And McPhee off the line shot. Another glove save by Doucette. Back on the stick of Alistair McPhee. Now Land through traffic, just wide of the goal. More good puck pursuit and offensive zone time for Dartmouth. They move that puck and open up those seams very, very well. Creating all sorts of opportunity and dangerous offensive scoring chances. Sparks with a nifty play along the half wall. Plays it to himself, and Owen Sparks with his second of the game. Squeaks that one right underneath the pad of Mason Doucette. I am sure that's one Mason would love to have back. He's been playing so well. That one just squeaked under the pad of Doucette. And the Dartmouth Steele Subaru have opened up a 3-0 lead here against Sydney. McIntyre loses the handle on it. Here's Ryan. Flip play over for Sparks, but doesn't quite make it. Up top, Mackinnon. Down the half wall now for Hakala. He'll throw that into the corner, and Sparks is there, but he's knocked off the puck by Miller. Miller trying once again to get it out, but not able to do so. As Sam Ryan comes away with it, he'll rim that around. Up top for Cooper Mackinnon. Over for Liam Duffy. He'll play that, rim that around, and again, it's going to be Mackinnon coming off the line, keeping that play alive for Dartmouth. Rush can't connect on the pass, so Duffy's going to throw it right back in. Max Bryan, first one on it there, but now Angus McLean will rim that around, knocked out, as Tremblay throws that back in deep for Dartmouth, and they go right back to work on the forecheck. Along the corner, trying to get it free as there's a pile of bodies in there, and Zach McIntyre will rim that around the boards, and not able to get it out as Alistair McPhee does a good job keeping that play alive on the blue line. As Dartmouth continues his zone time in the offensive zone, Tremblay misses on the one-timer in the high slot. Rimmed around the boards once again. McLean can't get it out. There's a tired line on the ice now for Sydney. It's McIntyre. The Sydney Rush finally able to get it out, and they will get a much-needed change. But it's a quick up once again by Dartmouth. And here's Tremblay. Shot kicked aside by Doucette. Thrown out front, Angus McLean. Up and into the rafters. Gives us a chance to step away to take our TV timeout.
Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cast. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple.
Face-off coming up back inside Rush territory to the left of Mason Doucette. Dartmouth wins it again. Duffy across for Land. That shot doesn't get through, but it does land on the stick of Chase Munden. He will pick that up and pick the top corner on Doucette. And Dartmouth have now opened up a 4-goal lead. Dartmouth going right back to work in the offensive zone as it's Ryan. Thrown out into the middle of the ice. Crawley. He can't get it past the neutral zone, and Munden enters the zone once again. Throws it up top for Land, over for Duffy. His shot goes off a stick and up and out of play. Face-off will come inside the Rush zone. To the left of Mason Doucette. Scramble draw. Dartmouth able to come away with it at Burgess. Chips it to himself now, plays it up top. Mackinnon for Henry. Looking at his options. Thrown towards goal, goes off a skate into the corner. Morrison leaves it there for McLean. He can't get it out. Now the Rush will clear the zone. Mackinnon gives it up there for Miller. His shot goes wide. Morrison throws that on goal. But Turner turns it up ice. There's Smith. He'll throw that in. Rush now trying to get out. Henry walks the line. Down for McPhee, up top again for Henry. His shot. Doucette kicks that aside. Now here's Matt Phillips. Skates it through the neutral zone, gets over the blue line. Pushed to the outside by Henry. Rush will try and start a cycle game. This one will go up and out of play into the Rush bench. Face-off will come inside the Dartmouth territory. Draw one again by Dartmouth. Circling in behind the goal. Miller. Shot turned aside by Mullins. Gideon throws it back in low. Quinton Land goes back to retreat for Dartmouth. Headman play for Hakala. He'll leave it there for Sparks. Back to Hakala. Back for Sparks. His shot. Rebound. What a save. Mason Doucette coming across. Robbing Chase Munden right there. And the Rush are able to clear the zone. McPhee surveys his options. Finds Hakala. He'll stop up just inside the blue line. Leaves it for Sparks. He tries to find the stick of Munden. That didn't miss by much. Now the Rush. McIntyre. He's got 2 Subaru on him, and they cause the turnover. But the Rush able to get it out. Again, not too far as Alistair McPhee turns it up ice real quick, but Doucette will come out to play it, rims it around the boards. Doesn't make it to Gideon as McDonald cuts that off. Down low now for Tremblay. He'll battle in the corner. And McDonald will come away with it. But the Rush, they'll get it out. Chipped off the glass and down, and Cooper Makinen back. He's got time. Quick pass ahead for Tremblay. He'll leave it there for Max Bryan. Bryan steps out across the high slot area. The shot turned aside. Doucette. Tremblay back on it. Duffy pinches off the line, but it's chipped out into the neutral zone. But another quick turnaround there by Dartmouth. Chipped in there by the Rush. This time it'll be chipped up and out of play. Face-off comes inside the Dartmouth territory. Andrea tries to win that draw, but Sam Ryan will come away with it. Circles in behind his goal and builds up steam. Tries to get through the neutral zone, but his progress is impeded by Parker Lee, and the Rush will throw it right back in. Guthrow gives chase. Duffy reverses it and leaves it there for his D partner Makinen. Makinen can't get it out. Now Andrea takes a heavy hit there from Sam Ryan. As now Chase Munden takes it through the neutral zone. Throws it cross ice as Ryan throws it on goal. Lead pass for Guthrow. He'll step over the blue line, throw it on goal, and start a change. .233 to go in the second period. Dartmouth Steele Subaru have opened up a 4-goal lead here on the Rush in the second. That one just enough to get out and over the line, and the Rush will come away with it. Hudson Crawley, shot, Mullins. He hasn't been tested much, but when he has answered the call. And he makes a big save right there on the 2-on-1 for the Rush. Jacob Dunn in to take the draw for Sydney. But it's another one won by Dartmouth. Ahead for Smith. Tries to beat McLeod out wide. Thrown out front. Now rimmed back down, and Burgess, first one on it there for Dartmouth. Stops up on the half wall. Cross ice feed, it just jumps over the stick of Carver. But Dartmouth still in control. Quinton Land gets to the top of the dot. And his shot goes off a stick up and out of play. 1:41 to go in the second period. Face off to the right of Mason Doucette. One again by Dartmouth. Henry throws it down low. Carver lost an edge in behind the goal. Now the Rush get it out. Back to get it is Hakala. Played ahead now, here's Sparks. Ahead for Carver. Carver takes it wide and behind the goal, throws it out front. Chip just wide, but Dartmouth still in control. Henry, his shot. Doucette knocks that down. Hakala there, trying to find the rebound. Makinen back for Carver. Carver circles on the dot. Looks at his options, leaves it down low for Sparks. Chips it up top for Makinen. Over for Henry. His shot doesn't get through as it hits a Rush player on the way to the goal. Now the Rush. Chip that up and out, and Dartmouth will start a change. Makinen tries to cut through the middle of the ice. Almost a giveaway. Silas Mullins jumps on that. And the Sydney Rush will take an offensive zone faceoff. Under a minute here to go in the second period. As the Rush try to build some momentum in the offensive zone, but once again, Dartmouth able to get that out. As Max Bryan beats Morrison to the outside. Bryan cuts to the goal. And Doucette follows him the whole way there. Thrown out front, just missed there by McDonald. McPhee comes off the line. No buzzer beater here, as that will do it for the second period. And after 40 minutes of play here in Member 2, Dartmouth Steele Subaru put another couple goals up on the board that period to extend their lead to 4. And after 40 minutes of play, your score, Dartmouth 4, Sydney no score. We'll be back with third period action after this brief intermission.
Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross and Sons, scrap metal made simple.
And welcome back inside the Member 2 Sport and Wellness Center as we get set for third period action here between the Dartmouth Steele Subaru and the Sydney Mitsubishi Rush. After 40 minutes of play, the Dartmouth Steele Subaru 4, Sydney Rush no score. As we get set for the in-house clock here to just tick down as we get set for puck drop here on the third period. Long stretches of play so far in this one, with Dartmouth controlling play in the offensive zone. They've also certainly controlled the face-off dot in this game. As we get set now for puck drop. Coda Lewis, Max Bryan. They'll get us started here in the third period, and the Dartmouth Steele Subaru control off the face-off. Bryan for Tremblay. Over for McDonald. His shot due set. Kicks off his post so hard he knocks the net off the pegs. That's enough to get a face-off inside Rush territory. Tremblay up top for Henry. Shot gets through. Doucette the save. Still loose. McDonald throws it out front. Ends up on the stick of Ben Henry. And he will keep that in, rim that around. Comes along the boards. Bryan was the first one on it. But now the Rush will start a breakout. Austin Miller chips it in. Matt Phillips is there, although it jumps over his stick. Now Travis Tremblay goes the other way. Over the blue line, Tremblay sees the late man Bryan, tries to hit him. The Rush are able to chip it out into the neutral zone. Coda Lewis kicks it to himself now for Phillips' shot. Mullins turns that one aside. Chase Munden. Cross feed for Carver. He'll back his way into the zone, throws that towards goal. But Angus McLean will stop up for the Rush. Feeds it over from Morrison, now ahead, and Jacob Hebb will just chip it forward. Duffy, lead pass for Sam Ryan. He's got a step on McIntyre, but McIntyre comes back. Now McIntyre chips it off the boards and down the ice. Will it be enough for icing? The answer is yes. Face-off come back inside the Sydney Rush territory. Jacob Dunn didn't take the draw against Sam Ryan. Off the boards, not out. Now they'll try again. McIntyre, his lead pass broken up in the middle by Munden, but McIntyre on it once more. Hebb ahead for Dunn, back for Hebb. He'll try to cut into the middle, but a good stick there by Quinton Land, and the Steele Subaru get it out of the zone. 2-on-1 now, possibly developing. Carver. He'll lose the handle, and Jacob Hebb is there to pick it up. Rims it around for Crawley. Crawley can't control it as Munden throws it back down deep. And Burgess is in a battle now with McLeod. Rimmed back in behind the goal, and Morrison back for the Rush. Through the middle of the ice for Dunn. His cross ice feed hits a skate and ends up back to Cooper Makinen. Andrea gets to the red line and dumps it in. Back for Travis Tremblay. He'll start to wind up behind his own goal. His pass off a skate, and Cooper Makinen there to pick it up. Chips that off the boards for Burgess. But he's stopped in his tracks, and now Ben Guthrow goes the other way for the Sydney Rush. Off a skate, turn around there, play by Henry, knocks that out of harm's way, and here comes Smith. Brendan Smith shot. Doucette kicks that aside, back on the stick of Smith. That goes off a skate, out into the neutral zone. Hand pass is the call as we get a stoppage in play. Face off coming up just outside the Subarus territory. As Dartmouth will win another face-off. Sam Ryan skates it in over the blue line, cuts it in wide, and then he's met by a couple of rush defenders. Still with it working down low is Ryan. Trying to find options. He'll spin off his man, thrown out front. Ethan Miller there to clean it up in the middle of the ice. Miller will circle back, leave it there for McIntyre. Zach McIntyre throws it up the middle, not out. Sparks throws it towards goal. Bounces around in front of Doucette, and McLeod is there, but Hakala picks it up for the Subarus. In behind the goal, they battle. Squirts free into the other corner. And the Rush are able to get it out, but not far. McIntyre has it knocked off his stick, up and out of play. Face-off coming inside Sydney Rush territory. Bryan wins another face-off. Makinen for Tremblay. His shot goes wide into the corner, and Morrison is first one on it, but he's met there by McDonald. Now Bryan comes in to help out. He steps out of the corner with the puck. Max Bryan circles behind the goal. He's looking for his options. He finds Tremblay. He will dump that in around the goal. And Morrison is met there by McDonald once again, but Morrison steps away with it. Throws it up the middle of the ice, played with a high stick, but the Rush touch it first. Scramble play. Makinen throws it in down low. Up top is Duffy, leaves it there for Tremblay. Throws it down low for Bryan. He circles off, but he's met there by McLean. Chipped out in the neutral zone. Liam Duffy spins off his man and enters the zone. Over the blue line is Duffy. He gets into the danger zone, but he's pushed to the outside. Now he'll just toss it down in behind the goal, and Sam Ryan is there to pick it up. Thrown out front, bounces in front of Doucette. Good reactionary save there by Mason Doucette. Morrison surveys the situation. Now Ryan enters the zone, finds a trailer. Munden's shot just goes wide. Back for Sam Ryan, his shot off the stick of Doucette. And Jacob Hebb turns it up ice. Over the blue line, shot on goal, turned aside by Mullins. Dunn has a jump over his stick, now back on the stick of Dunn. But Mullins is there to take away the opportunity and get a face-off. Face-off to the left of Mullins. Dartmouth control off the face-off. Munden, cross-ice feed for Ryan. Over the line, leaves it there for Carver and into the middle of the ice. Munden, heavy hit there on Crawley. Now, Alistair McPhee stops up behind his goal. He'll start the breakout as he weaves his way through the neutral zone. Over the blue line is Alistair McPhee. Has it knocked off his stick, and Liam McLeod will take control. Headman the puck for Crawley. He's knocked to his feet. And Dartmouth comes the other way. Smith with a head of steam. Beats his man out wide, but McLeod pushes him to the outside. Still with it. Smith leaves it for Land. He'll try and throw that across ice feed. Dartmouth still in control. Land's shot hits a stick up and over the net. Dartmouth still in control now, down low and behind the goal. Burgess around up top again for Land. Cross ice feed for Duffy. His shot hits a leg. Ends up on the stick of Burgess, but he can't bury it. Dartmouth still in control now, down low. Another big save by Mason Doucette right there. As the zone time continues to mount for the Subarus. And Doucette will grab a hold of that one, take the whistle, and get a breather. Face off to the right of Mason Doucette. Rimmed around now. Parker Lee is met there by Duffy. McLean rims that around the ice, and that will be enough to go the length for icing. Face off back in the rush territory. Sparks in to take the draw for Dartmouth. They control again off the face-off. Land steps in off the line. His shot off a shin pad into the corner. Now Angus McLean. Cross ice feed broken up there by Duffy. He'll chip that in down low. Loses the puck now. Munden out front for Hakala. Jumps over his stick. The Rush able to get it out of the zone. Land. Chased from out behind the goal by the Rush forecheck. Munden stops up. Hits Sparks. Sparks is shot off a stick up and out of play. .25 to go here in the third periods. Dartmouth Steele Subaru up by 4 here on the Sydney Rush. Tremblay up top for Henry. Gets to the middle of the ice. His shot goes wide. Makinen stutters coming off the line, and that allows the Rush enough time to gain control and get it out. Henry ahead for Tremblay. He'll find McDonald coming in late. Rims it around down the boards. Oh, as Bryan is met there, and the puck comes free, and the Rush can start a breakout. Here's Miller. Tries to step around Makinen, but takes a shove and goes hard to the ice. Bryan, 3-on-1 developing now for Dartmouth. Bryan tries to find the trailer. Nobody home there for Dartmouth, but again, they continue to control here in the offensive zone. McPhee steps across the line, steps inside, his shot up and wide. McDonald throws it down low for Tremblay. He'll leave it there for Bryan. Circles in behind the goal, throws it out front for Travis Tremblay. He'll circle the zone once again. This line has been all over the ice in the offensive zone when they've been on the ice for Dartmouth. Continuing their play here in the third period Shot Doucette. Good vision there by Mason Doucette. That shot hits a stick and goes wide. And again, Dartmouth just having Sydney hemmed in their own zone. Cross ice feed. One-timer opportunity, doesn't connect. Rush get control, clear it down the ice. Icing will be the call. And we will go to our 1-minute TV timeout.
Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports.
Face-off coming up back inside Rush territory off the icing call. Sam Ryan in to take the draw for Dartmouth. They control off the draw. Shot on goal, tip to the corner. Thrown up the middle and it gets out of the zone, so Dartmouth will have to touch up. Gives Quentin Land some time. Chase Munden throws it back there for Liam Duffy. He's watched closely there. And now Munden, he'll start to wind it up into the neutral zone. Flies into the zone, tries to step around the Rush defender, but they will start a breakout. Coda Lewis just out of his reach. Off the boards, and here comes the quick strike offense of the Dartmouth Steele Subaru again. Munden for Carver, his shot saved a Doucette. Back on the stick of Munden, spins and fires. Net comes off the pegs. Mason Doucette all over the goal here tonight. He has stood on his head, keeping his team in this one. Scoreboard here saying he has now faced 50 shots here tonight. Doucette has been good for the Rush. Blows a tire, Austin Miller 2-on-1. Miller holds, crossover feed. Phillips can't find the puck. Best opportunity for the Rush so far tonight. Now Bryan goes the other way. Chipped off his stick, McIntyre, he can't get the handle on it. Miller overskates the puck. Now McIntyre in a puck battle down low. And Lewis feeds it ahead for Phillips. Here's Phillips, his shot. Mullins turns that aside. Couple opportunities starting to generate here for the Rush. Thrown back in. Given chase is Jacob Hebb, but Mackinnon plays that across for Henry. He'll fire that ahead for Bryan. He can't handle it, and now Angus McLean will rim it around the boards. This one will go the length for icing. .6:15 to go in the third period. Offensive zone draw coming up here for Dartmouth. Carver in to take that. He wins it cleanly to Sparks. Fed over across. Now in behind the goal. Morrison in a battle for it. He'll come away with it and he'll reverse it to McLean. Angus McLean off the glass and out. Back now to get it is McPhee. He'll leave it there for Land. He'll start to skate it out and start the breakout. Head pass for Carver. He can't cross ice that as it hits McLean's skate, but Dartmouth still in control. Burgess or Sparks checks his options. He'll work it in behind the Sydney goal, still with it. Low to high they go. Now Quinton Land's got some room. Shot. That one doesn't get through, but it is still free in the slot area. That one will get through, but again, it hits a rush player in front up and over the goal. Now Dunn will try and feather that one through. Now Dartmouth will start a change, which gives Jacob Dunn some time to skate it out. His cross ice feed read perfectly there by Dartmouth. A great back-checking play by Morrison breaks that play up there as Max Bryan almost with a breakaway. Dartmouth winds it up again. Bryan, stick check there in the high slot, doesn't get a clean shot away. But here's Tremblay who leaves it for Makinen. His shot will be tipped up and out of play. 4:28 left in the third period. These two teams will face off again here in Member 2 tomorrow afternoon, a 1 o'clock puck drop. Certainly hope you can join us for that one as well. But right now it's still 4 minutes and change to go in this one. This one won't have enough for icing as Liam Duffy is back to collect it. Chipped in now. Carver stops up, has it knocked off his stick. McLeod chips it to himself off the boards. Goes through the middle, but Sam Ryan breaks that play up. Duffy rims it around. It bounces off a stanchion out in front. Almost eludes Doucette. Penalty coming up here, and it will go against Dartmouth. Carver will get the penalty, probably going to be a holding call. Hooking will be the call. Calvin Carver to the box. So the Sydney Rush will go to their second power play of the game. Draw one by Dartmouth, and they clear the zone.
Steele Subaru penalty to number 7, Calvin Carver, 2 minutes for hooking. Time of penalty, 16 minutes, 31 seconds. Carver hooking, 16:31.
Battle along the boards. Puck now comes free, and it's McLean. He'll skate it not quite into the zone. It gets chipped up and into the Dartmouth bench. Face-off will come just outside Dartmouth territory. Subaru clear it back down the ice. 1:20 to go in the power play as Morrison steps out from behind the goal. McLean can't enter the zone. Dartmouth control, and they'll throw it right back down the ice. Now Morrison skates it out. He'll get to the blue line and enter the zone. It drops it there for McLean. And down low is Miller. Feeds it over for Lewis. Cross ice feed for McLean. Jumps over his stick, so he'll just start a cycle game down low. Phillips rims it back for Lewis. Up top for Morrison. His shot doesn't quite get through. Sydney's still in control. Sustained pressure now in the offensive zone. First time this game, Sydney's been able to get an offensive rhythm going. 20 seconds to go in the man advantage. Morrison's shot hit, doesn't get through. It hits a body on the way there. Up top, Morrison feeds it across for Phillips. Shot right into the chest of Silas Mullins. He will hold on for the faceoff. 7 seconds to go in the power play. 1:35 to go in the period. Draw one there by the Rush. McLeod shot up and over. Penalty now over. Teams back to even strength. Right out of the box is Carver. It hops over his stick. And behind the goal now as we count down to almost just the final minute of play here in the third period. Donald has to wait for Carver to touch up now. Cross ice feed, and it's back for Carver, who will touch it back for Henry. Shot doesn't quite get through. As we are into the final minute of play, Travis Tremblay. Down low for Carver. He's watched closely by a couple of Rush players. And Dartmouth controlled down low once again. Top for Henry. Space opens up and he finds a lane. And Ben Henry will sneak one past Mason Doucette to make it 5-0. .37 seconds to go here in Dartmouth with their first goal of the period to make it 5-0. Back into the zone they go. Quinton Lands tries to go cross ice, but that's broken up by Dunn. Dunn with it again. Steps around Land. Jacob Dunn going down wide. He can't get a shot off. Now Sam Ryan across for Land as we are under 10 to play. Shot on Doucette. He turns that aside. And that will do it here in Member 2. Your final score tonight, Dartmouth Steele Subaru come into Member 2 and take this one by a score of 5-0 against the Sydney Rush. Again, you can catch these two teams in action tomorrow afternoon here in Member 2. Puck drop, 1 o'clock. We thank you for tuning in to this broadcast and all the High Button Sports broadcasts. We hope you have a great evening, and we will see you